Good morning. Good morning. Oh, yes. There we go. So help me with the affirmation. Together. In one spirit, we see God everywhere, in everyone, and in everything. Happy Easter. Now, what do you think about when you hear somebody say that? Had somebody say to me, is it okay if I say Happy Easter to you?
Well,
That seems weird to me.
What I always think of as Easter is like growing up is that it means it's starting to get really nice out.
The weather.
The weather.
The weather.
Family dinner.
Yeah. Yes, family dinner. Weather's turning. It's renewal. The sign says you can take it, you can read it politically, or you can rise up or uprise. There's an uprise happening, and so today I always think about it as an uprising in consciousness, and so I just was sitting at the kitchen table and I just wrote this down. I don't know if it'll make any sense or not, but it's about this. See, there's everyone, all of us have had some kind of trials and tribulations in life. We cannot avoid pain and suffering. Some of us have some very severe pain and suffering in our lives. Some of it self-induced, some not. But this time can be a symbol. These days, this last week can be the symbol of the crucifixion event in your life, and then like the rising up from it. So rise up, rising now. Previously low, suffered in the bottom land, surrendered pain and control. Hope arose that bloomed to faith. Goodwill, good for all, unfolding by choice. Brought dark to light, found inner spark. Foundation built on love, God, understanding. Order out of chaos, ready for change. Asking for release, released by asking. Strong in life, responsible for life. Forgiven by love, lovingly forgiving. Present for a moment. That time is now. Looking for reasons, purpose revealed. Awake, alive, alert, now rising, now risen. So So there's your Easter poem of the moment. So what's the good news?
24 years today.
24 years, yes sir. Who would have ever thought?
I was thinking, I didn't get clean on Easter. What the hell's going on?
You know how it works though, right? It's the weirdest thing. Do you know, it is very odd the way it's figured. The way, you know how you figure out what Easter is? It's like this, there's a strange formula. It's the third Sunday after it's a weird thing. Somebody Google it. Say, how do you figure out the Easter date? And it'll give us then tell us in a minute. I'm going to do something else. Last week was Palm Sunday. So then have this week that's called in the churches called Holy Week. So and Palm Sunday is a symbol of like a celebration of victory and an acceptance of the truth. And by the way, it's a historically inaccurate account. Just first of all, it could not have happened. The whole procession through the city and people laying the palm. The reason it couldn't have happened is because the Roman authorities at the time would not have allowed it. It was just too, really trying to keep the peace and trying to keep everything under control. And the other reason that it wouldn't have happened is because, in fact, Jesus was not well known enough for that kind of a procession to occur. All of this is, but it's a symbol, right? But it's all written to lay a foundation for a story. Nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's written in highly symbolic language and written to lay the foundation for this story. So Easter then should be our symbol for a sign of peace and not of pain. So what has ended up happening is because we are just so caught up in this tendency of guilt and remorse that the story of suffering seems to be much more attractive to us than the real meaning of the story. And again, here you have your own opinions about whether there was an actual physical resurrection of the body. But the story is talking about an overcoming of the physical. It's a story about the overcoming of the material world and the rising up of spirit. And depending upon which account you read in the New Testament, you'll see that there's some inconsistencies. But one of the things that's very interesting in the light of this is the idea that everyone who sees Jesus after the crucifixion does not recognize him. And so what I like to think about, and a number of scholars think about it in the same way, that what people saw was the Christ, the risen Christ. And who they saw it in is not quite as important as the fact that that's what they saw. The other thing I think we can be assured of is that during this week, during this what we call Holy Week, from Palm Sunday to Easter, something happened. Something large occurred. And the reason I say that is because Jesus was not that well known. He was coming into his own as a teacher, but he was not that well known. And after this event, things began to get big. So something happened. One of the things we know happened is people were inspired. As I say, people saw this Christ, this risen Christ. And this kind of illuminates what our job, I shouldn't say our job, but our goal, our purpose is through forgiveness, to see the risen Christ in our brother, in our sister, in the real goal is in everyone. So the week begins with palms and ends with lilies, the white and holy sign that the Son of God is innocent. Let no dark sign of crucifixion intervene between the journey and its purpose. Let's get quiet and do this meditation. Just relax, release, and let go. Focus on the breath. Don't try to change it in any way. Just notice it. You may notice it in the rise and fall of the chest and abdomen. You may notice it at the nostrils, where the inbound breath is cool and the outbound is just a little bit warmer. Or you may notice it in the filling of the body on the in-breath and the relaxing of the body on the out-breath. However you notice, it doesn't matter. Just remember that anytime you're distracted, your attention wanders, just gently come back to the breath. Say to yourself, I am alive. I'm alive. I am alive with the life of God. Today we celebrate that life, not death. We celebrate that life of God, that unity of all life that we are a part of. We honor the perfect purity of the Son of God, who is us, the shared sonship, and not the illusory sins of any of us. So today we offer this gift of forgiveness, the gift of lilies rather than the crown of thorns. We give the true gift of love, not the false sentence of fear. See yourself standing by your brother, your sister, your mother, your father. thorns in one hand, lilies in the other, uncertain which to give. Join now with me. Throw away the thorns, offering lilies to replace them. And say to yourself, this Easter, I will give the gift of forgiveness. Offered to me, received by me, returned by me to you. We were never united in crucifixion and in death. We are one in resurrection. We are one in Christ.